Every year I review a new iPhone, and every year my findings are usually the same. A solid device at a premium price point with no great changes beyond the usual iterative updates. Finally, the iPhone X is here to shake things up and give us a glimpse into the future of Apple's grand smartphone plans. The good news is that the iPhone X is a delight. The bad news is that it's going to cost you dearly. It feels like I've spent years complaining about Apple's refusal to buck iPhone design, but I've never reviewed a bad iPhone. This is the first major departure from a design introduced way back in 2014 with the iPhone 6, and it brings with it entirely new ways of using your smartphone. In terms of size, the iPhone X sits somewhere between an iPhone 8 and a Plus model. Compared to the Plus, it's a little smaller overall, which makes it easier to grip and more pleasant to use with one hand. Despite the smaller chassis, the screen is a larger 5.8-inch panel, up from 5.5 inches on the Plus. This is because the entire front panel of the iPhone X is now a screen, save for a small cutout at the top. This is where the iPhone X's camera and new sensors reside, and considering it's a compromise in design that Apple had to make, I actually think it looks pretty good. You've probably noticed by now that the iPhone X completely lacks a home button. Instead of pressing a button, you now have to swipe upwards from the bottom bezel to go home, or access the app switcher. The power button on the side now allows you to invoke Siri, and you'll now need to press a different combination of buttons in order to power down your device. On the rear, it's mostly business as usual save for the vertically placed camera. Just like the iPhone 8, the X has a glass back which is prone to damage, but something Apple had to do in order to get wireless charging in there. The overall feel of the device is that of any premium iPhone. It's solid in the hand, weighty, but well balanced and not top heavy. In many ways, the design feels like a natural continuation of what Apple's already been doing, with the same rounded edges and overall design sensibility. It's still unmistakably iPhone, and it retains that premium feel thanks to the quality materials used and ergonomic design. The iPhone X brings with it some big changes, notably in the way you use your device. An iPhone without a traditional home button really takes some getting used to, which can be jarring at first. Swipe to home is probably the biggest change, though I got on fine with it. It's a responsive gesture that works whether you're using a fast flick or a slow swipe. Switching apps uses a similar gesture, swipe up and hold, or swipe up and flick to the right. Once you've mastered those two, you're on your way. There are other changes too. Control Center is now accessed by swiping down from the top right of the screen, but it feels like a combined app switcher and control center as seen on the iPad would be a better solution. Using the iPhone X's bigger screen also improves the user experience considerably. Elements like media controls or titles at the top of the screen now occupy what was previously dead space, so there's just more content on screen at once. Going back to an iPhone 8 type device really makes you appreciate all that extra screen real estate. The camera is largely unchanged from the iPhone 8 Plus with a dual lens design and improved signal to noise ratio thanks to the A11 Bionic system on chip. The front-facing camera now gets portrait mode though, and those flashy faux lighting effects Apple loves so much. It's a bit of a gimmick, but it's fun to play around with. The other big change is the arrival of Face ID, Apple's first foray into facial recognition. Using infrared and a bunch of sensors in the front cutout, Apple is able to scan your face from multiple angles to create a likeness you can use to unlock your phone and do anything you could previously do with a fingerprint. The technology works incredibly well. Most of the time, your iPhone will be unlocked before you've had a chance to start using it. I only had it fail once, and by the time I'd swiped upwards, the technology had rescanned and authorized my face. As someone who wears glasses and has a beard, I expected serious issues. In reality, I had very few. Face ID helps elevate the iPhone X beyond a simple design refresh. The process is entirely automatic and doesn't depend on dry fingers or require the user to actively do anything. The act of unlocking your device or authorizing a payment becomes invisible to the user. This is clearly the future of biometrics in smart devices. A feature called Attention checks whether you're actually looking at the screen to add another layer of security. The same feature can stop your screen dimming while you're reading. If you're using your iPhone while wearing dark sunglasses, however, you may need to turn this feature off. Animoji is another smart little feature that uses the Face ID scanners. You can now map your expressions onto an emoji character and send the resulting 10-second long videos to your friends. Yes, you can be a talking poo. There are some genuine concerns about security, though Apple maintains your Face ID scan exists solely on the device. Third-party apps are able to request access to your likeness, though this isn't enough data to unlock your device. If you're privacy conscious, you'll want to be careful which apps you authorize to use this feature. So if it's all good, what's the problem? Well, the iPhone X costs $999 for the 64GB model or $1149 for the 256GB variant. You could buy an iPhone 8 and the latest Apple Watch for virtually the same price. That makes it an incredibly expensive piece of tech, and in essence you're paying for a glimpse into the future of smartphone design. If you want to use all of the features on your new iPhone X, you'll need to cough up even more money. Fast charging will cost you around $75 for Apple's first-party charger and compatible lightning cable, or you can save some money and go third-party. A wireless charger will cost you about the same as a quality lightning cable, and Apple's own first-party solution won't be out till sometime in 2018. At the very least, one should expect a fast charger in the box. This is a flagship business-class device that's competing with rivals like the Pixel 2, which includes a fast charger in the box. And while we're on the topic of charging, the iPhone X, despite being around the same size as a Plus model, only offers 2 hours improvement over the iPhone 7. That giant screen and Face ID scanner really sucks up the juice, so if you're an iPhone Plus owner who went supersized purely for battery reasons, the iPhone X will leave you disappointed in this regard. Despite these drawbacks, it's hard not to fall in love with the iPhone X. The user experience has improved almost across the board, Face ID is a marvel, using the device is a joy. The gestures work great when you get used to them, and the A11 Bionic chip inside delivers a silky smooth iOS experience. As always, it boils down to price. I can't not recommend the iPhone X, but I also can't recommend it to everyone. It doesn't do anything that the iPhone 8 doesn't, it just improves on the user experience and provides a peek into the future of iPhone. If that's worth $1,000 to you, knock yourself out. One thing's for sure, I'm excited to see where Apple takes this technology next year and beyond. Read our full iPhone X review at MakeUseOf.com.